Okay, now that this has had an opportunity to cure, I think we have a bit of a problem. And I think probably the only thing that needs to be done is to kind of feather it out, meaning take out a few dimples here and there to minimize this streak. Now it definitely is going to be exaggerated by the fact that the spine of it, to make up a term, here is of a lighter color. So that will probably recede into the background once the whole ceiling is painted to match the wall. And here. Now this brings us to something else, which is I'm not sure how this is going to be handled in the painting, but this won't be covered up by these cabinets when we finally apportion the very, very crowded. This is how we've had to cook and prepare dinners and so on and so forth in here. This is probably pretty jerky. I'm going to pause. Okay, back with a pseudo Steadicam here. Makes quite a bit of a difference. Less distracting. Anyway, so what do we do with this? I don't know. And also we have another probably unthought of contingency, which is here. This is where the acoustical ceiling ends, or ended, going back to original construction. But this was all decimated when they put in when the mold remediation crew put in the plastic housing that went around all of this to keep us from breathing all of the stuff. So I'm not sure how this is going to be able to be matched without having a tritone color scheme. From this to this to that. It's just going to look kind of funky if, even though this is the same color as this area here, all of a sudden we're going to have a demarcation from here to here, and it is going to be a textural difference here, even though the color is the same. So color is the same, but it's a textural difference, and then it moves to the older construction, which I don't suppose is, well, depends on how you look at it. We didn't cause this problem, and presumably the whole idea, for example, wouldn't expect anybody to repair that, because we were originally going to get rid of the this wallpaper that got painted over. Anyway, I don't want to make this too complicated, but the thing is that the room, as I see it, should be restored to street, what is they call it? Curb appeal. Since we did not cause this problem, it was a lack of follow-through perhaps on the part of the previous regime and the roofing company and so on and so forth. Not to blame anybody, not a bit of it, but it's not something that was caused by the homeowner. So the room should be restored, as I see it, to a respectable condition, and that brings us back to this. So my suggestion, and there may be another one, would be to continue the acoustical ceiling treatment here, the popcorn, out to here. So that would mean that this area of the wall, of the ceiling, excuse me, would need to be washed down with TSP or whatever to eliminate the greasiness that's built up, as you can even see here over the years. So we need to wash it out to this area along here, and then apply the acoustical spray to here, or perhaps to here, to make it geometrically consistent. So now we would have acoustical ceiling here, here, and here, which when painted with the same color that's going in here, and for the rest of this area, it would match. Hope that makes sense. So we would have this painted all well down to here. So the ceiling would match. This rib, I guess we'll call it, is very noticeable when the light comes in from here, because it creates a shadow effect. Pretty obvious. The same thing around the air conditioning return upstairs. And then there is this, which is clearly not finished, but maybe the guys have got a way of dealing with that. I don't know. I used to do construction myself, and I didn't do a lot of interior detailing. So that's all I've got here. I'm going to pause and see if there's anything upstairs I'm noticing that should be carried forward. I put the doors back on. And this here is for me to take care of, because that happened a long time ago. So you can see the demarcation here. Again, when this is painted, this area, the mismatch will be somewhat diminished, because there's a slight difference in the color, the all-whiteness. But I think this should be a little closer. I picked at this like that and minimized it. It was actually quite a bit more conspicuous than it is now. So I was attempting to randomly make less of a visual blunt effect between here and here. Kind of like that. Whoops, sorry. Back and forth. Alright, so there's that. This room is ostensibly done. There's a spot here that needs to be filled and sanded flat. And I'm not sure how this is going to paint, because this is texturally, you can feel it. It's raised here, all along here. This was where there are these staples. I'm sure that the crew would know to take them out. Why this is still there, I don't know. So that would have to come out and be spackled. The mismatch problem up here is not as conspicuous. So I don't see that it's necessary to get that finessed about it. But again, I'm referring to the idea that the room should be restored to its original state. There is something I'll bring up here, and that is, we have a problem, and that is this. Many of these records, this is a turntable, so it spins, and it weighs a lot. Probably with all of this paper on it, it weighs a good 300 pounds. It's very heavy, even empty. Can't see what I'm shooting here, so I hope this is, there we go. The sun is very bright. All right, well, how do we handle that? Where it comes to getting the carpet all the way into there and with all of this stuff. So, as I discussed with Leo, the plan is, and so I thought what I would do is bring it up on the video so that somebody can watch it and see where we're at. The plan is to do, well, I would say probably, I'm going to pause until I get my bearings here. Okay, I'm not really sure, and I don't want to elongate this, because it's important, but it doesn't have to take an hour to view this video. So what's going to have to happen is, somehow this part of the room up to here is going to need to be carpeted to here. So that means that, or somewhere in here, probably to there, and then stop. And the painting probably won't have to be done. What's going to happen is this is going to be moved. I'm going to have to take all of these out. This is turning out to be a Herculean task, this whole affair, especially with 3 out of the 6 rooms being involved. But So this will be moved, it'll be emptied, and then the unit itself, empty now, will be moved over here into this corner. And I'll leave enough room so that one can paint around it with a roller. So now that problem is solved. What about all this stuff? Well, that can be moved within 10 minutes, all of this, so that it can become available for the paint and the balance of the carpeting. If this room is done first, if this is completed, then I'll just move all of that jazz into here. All of this. I hope this all makes sense. And if it doesn't, well, I'm available at 818-317-7972. I'll end off with this. Everybody seems to have gotten a kick out of it. Need a doorstop. Dope. Uh-oh. Alright, that's it. Dion Smith out. Tack this on the end. See, with the upstairs light on, so with this landing light right here, this is quite noticeable. And even if it's a different color, I mean even if it's all the same color, this is a declivity. It just wasn't feathered in very well. So I would say the best way I can put it is this is a situation where it wasn't restored to original condition, which, going back to my original observation, I believe should have been done, again, because the homeowner is not the one that caused the problem by any means. So that's all. I'll tack this on the end, and I guess we're done for the moment. Thanks for your attention.